Hey everyone, I'm in Farming Simulator 22 and here I'm going to show you tree cutting. So we got these trees, we want to cut them down. So there are a few different options. If you want to cut down any tree, the option that you want to use is a chainsaw, which is really cheap. On the Xbox, what you do is you click the menus icon button on your controller, and then if you go up to the tools, you will find an area called chainsaws, and here you can select any of these chainsaws. They're all exactly the same, they just look a little bit different. So they do, that didn't make any sense, did it? They're all different, but they do the same job. So you can pick whatever one you want, and then when you own one, what you will see is, if I show you, just if we walk up to a tree, I've got no option here, so you don't need to go to the shop to actually pick it up. You can just buy it here. So if we pick one, thank you very much, and then we come back here, you see that I've now got the option switch hand tool. So as I walk up to, actually it's on all the time, yeah. So we press up on the D-pad and then we get a chainsaw. And then you're like, well, how do I use this? It's a bit like Doom, isn't it? Like, you can't chop up people or zombies or demons, I'm afraid, but you can chop trees. However, it's not that obvious because you go up to the tree and you go, I want to chop the tree, man. I can't chop the tree. What do? Right, first thing, you want to hold down LB, okay? Actually, two things. First of all, you've got to own the land that you want to chop stuff on. Now, if you want to get a good area to chop down trees, the best area, I think, on Elm Creek, if we have a little look, if we just go to the menu icon and then icon, I keep calling it icon button, and then go up to the land here, and it's this area here which has got loads of trees, and this dark area has pine trees in it, which are really cool for logging. You've also got some ordinary trees here, so let's have a little look. So you need to buy that. So if you're not sure how to do that, I've got a tutorial on how to buy land, but very quickly you hit the left stick button down and then that will highlight this, and if you haven't bought it already, you hit right. So for example here, right stick down. So I press the right stick down and then I have the option to X buy, but I haven't got enough money because this piece of land is expensive. So it's like 1.1 million. Anyway, when you've got that, we have our chainsaw active. Hold down LB and then use the right stick to rotate, because if you just go up the tree like here, you go, I can't cut it, man, why can't I cut it? Even if you go, aha, activate tool, you just go, but you don't do anything. So LB and then rotate, and then when you rotate enough, you will get this kind of circle, and then you just decide how you want to chop the tree. Okay, so you don't want to chop it on your head, but maybe you want to do a bit of an angle like that, just so it falls a little bit nice. So we'll try that. Then let go of LB and then you activate the hand tool. So I'm holding down B as it chops through the tree, and then check this. Look at this. Oh, how satisfying was that? So then you can look at the tree, look at the detail on the tree, pretty cool. Now, you ideally need to clean this tree up a little bit, and so there's a few different ways to do this, but I think the easiest is just to walk on top of the tree, and then just where you see scabby bits, just press the activate hand tool like that. And it's a bit hit and miss sometimes, but if you sort of get it in a roughly the right area, you're good. Okay, so it's not too bad. And you can obviously imagine that certain trees are going to be a right pain, like the starting area that you can tend to buy has oak trees, and they've got like branches everywhere, so they're a right pain. So can't get that one, there we go. So it's a bit hit and miss, as you can see. Sometimes we'll get it, sometimes we don't. Is that one there, or is that no? That's a bit of bush on the floor. There we go. And then sort of the end area here. Now, obviously, dragging that tree is a little bit difficult. So if we walk up to the tree now, let's just turn off that for a minute. We can see this is a whopping 22.3 meters long. It weighs 1.9 tons. And unsurprisingly, if I attempted to carry it, it ain't gonna work. It's too heavy, all right? So you're gonna need other tools to pick this up, which we will talk about in a separate tutorial. But basically, your option here is to switch, if we turn the hand tool on, we can chop it into smaller areas. So if I do a very small cut like here, I'm going to have a very dinky bit that I can pick up, where something like this is probably a bit too heavy. The downside of using the chainsaw, as you can see, it's a bit hard to figure out how big my cut is. You know, how big is this sort of chunk of wood here? If we put this away again, we can now see that's 1.4 meters, 164 kilos. What I like about this farmer, he's super tough. Look at that, 164 kilos, and he's picking it up. He is the Hulk, man. Who the heck can pick up 164 kilos? Brilliant. So we'll drop the area. So moving on though, what about if we want to do something a bit better than using a chainsaw? Well, what you can buy is this beast here. Look at this. This is cool. So what is this? If we go to the shop, I will just show you. So again, we go through the screens button on the controller. See, I said button there and not icon. Get me. And then you've got all these options here under tools, but also under vehicles. There's different forestry machines, and this baby that we've got here is this one here, which is a Komatsu 931XC, man. Now there's all sorts of stuff that you can buy, different ones, but they all work pretty much the same way. Now these can only cut down certain trees. I think there's two that I can't remember the name of the other one, but one of which is pine. So when you want to get used to it, pine trees are what you need. Now the frustrating thing is when you start the game, when you look around, you have no idea what tree is what. There doesn't seem to be a way to walk up to a tree and see what sort of tree it is. If there is a way, let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that. But as far as I can see, the only time you can see what tree it is once you've cut it down. When you hover over it here, you can see it says pine. When we go over here, it tells me nothing. Right, so how does this beast work then? So once you've got it, you've got to get it here. You can get it here on a trailer, which I'll show in a separate video, I think, if you're interested in that. But let's turn this baby on and show you how it works. So you've got to get it to an area that you own the land. It's got to be pine trees, or there's one other tree. Look it up, I can't remember. I might put it in the notes if you're really interested, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm just interested in these trees here. Oh, I've still got a bit of tree in here. Let's just fire that out. Okay, so what you then need to do is go near a tree that you want to cut. And it's a little bit difficult because the camera angle can be a bit funny on this thing. Are you going to do it? You there? No. And you just drive it close to the tree. Sometimes you might have to twirl around. So what I'm doing here, I should probably explain the controls. RB is moving up and down. So we want to be low. And then left button down, if I move this way, kind of moves that way, and then this way. And we want to sort of try and get round the tree. When we're close to the tree like that, we then get an option to cut. Okay, so that's what we want. We want the cut thing there. Now before you cut, another important thing is to think about the cut length. So you can have, generally the longer the length of cut that you can get, if you can get them to the sawmill, which again I'll show in a separate video, the more money you'll get for the wood. So we can change that cut length by hitting Y. So I can have it at whatever cut length I want, but the longer they are, the more cumbersome they are, and the more awkward they are to lift up, put on trailers, etc. But let's set the cut length to 4 meters, just for example. So then what I do is I hit A. Check this. So it's done summing. Now the tree will fall. If I can just move the camera. Look at the size of this tree. Boom! How satisfying is that? So then you're like, what do I do now? Just make sure that your tree cutting machine is well away from anything, so you can move if you need to, like that. But then hold down LB again and hit A again. And look what it does. It chops down that 4 meters that we had. You can vary it as you go, but you probably just want all the same sort of cuts. Hit A again, and it goes up. And what's really cool about this machine, as you can see, is as we hit cut, it will also knock off the sort of branches as it goes along. Look. So you get nice clean bits of wood. Pretty cool. And that's it really. So that's how you cut trees. You've got the two options. Like I say, if you're interested in cutting pine or whatever the other tree is that I can't remember, you can use this. If it's any tree, you can use the chainsaw that we saw. And that's it really. I hope that answered your question on cutting trees inside Farming Simulator 22. If it did, give us a big thumbs up please, that's much appreciated. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. I'll add another video to help out if you're still confused on things. But hopefully that answers that question rather nicely. Also, have a little look at the rest of my channel. If you're interested in Farming Simulator 22, I'm putting up all kinds of tutorials on this game because it's a very interesting game, but it's very confusing because the help's just not sufficient on it. So I will add stuff to help you on anything that you're confused, if I think it's a good video, that is, and not too confusing for others. So yeah, let me know on that, and also please subscribe to my channel. That'll help me grow it as we go on. But I hope that is good for you. Thank you so much for watching.